Are you planning on racing Ironman 70.3 Des Moines this year? Well, if so, this is the video for you because in it, I'm going to talk to the race director and ask him all the questions you have about this super race, and that's going to be an absolute belter one in America. So, but let's go a little bit about who we are and how we know all this information. My name is Stephen Moody, or Coach Steve, and I'm a triathlon coach, more recently a YouTuber who does race reviews of 70.3s and half distances, full distances around the world. And I do this by actually connecting with really cool people in the know who know about courses like race directors. And in that, I'm delighted to be able to talk to Corey Roberts again, who's going to talk to us about 70.3 Des Moines. But a little bit of a background on yourself, Corey. How long you been a race director? Are you looking forward to Des Moines?
Yeah, so I've been race directing since about 2010. Um, I like to tell people that I've been involved with Ironman since 1996. That's when I completed my first full distance Ironman in Australia. But I've been on the race director scene since about 2010. Have my own event company here in New York, and with that, I helped create the Ironman 70.3 New York event. And now I'm lucky enough that Ironman has asked for my help to be the race director at Ironman 70.3 Des Moines. So I'm like super stoked to be out there.
Super. And it looks like an absolute belter, of course. And let's not waste any time and dive into the swim course. Um, looks like it's an unusual setup as well, as in it's was it not different? Was
A
it?
lot of turns. Let's just say that right there, Steve. A lot of turns.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. You called it.
the I'm not going to hide from it. It's a lot of turns. But it is a super protected lake. It's called Gray's Lake, just outside of downtown Des Moines. We start our swim traditional to what we're doing here in the US. It is a time trial start, rolling five people every 5 seconds or so. Um, it's a short walk from transition area in the morning around to swim start. Swim start, and you've got to get a left-hand turn, a left-hand turn, a left-hand turn, right there, and then we make a right-hand turn and a right-hand turn. We're essentially using the entire body of water that Grays Lakes has with this course to be able to make that 1.2 miles. But it is a really pretty course. There's really cool viewing area for your spectators from a bridge that's running over on the south side. So yeah, if you just drag the thing, it looks like a pathway runs across it.
Oh
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
this really amazing walkway. So like I know spectators like to get down to the swim start. It's quite a hike around to the swim start and then get back to transition in time. I think the prime location for spectators is short walk from transition to that bridge, overlooking the swim course, watch the swim happen, and then duck back to transition. So, um, little bit of a climb out of the water, a little bit of a hill out of the water up to transition, but it's carpeted, super nice. Overall, I think it's a great swim. Just gotta be good with sighting and know how to turn.
Absolutely. Wetsuit legal, and what's the likelihood of it, or is it too
About
wetsuit?
about 73, 74 degrees is what we expect. So it will be wetsuit legal, but they could have some really hot days. That has seen it in the past in early July push into you know, wetsuit allowed,
Yeah.
but becomes that if you wear the wetsuit, you're not eligible for age group awards. So honestly, Steve, it could go either way.
Okay.
I expect it to be wetsuit legal based on current weather conditions.
Yeah, but again, also the advice there is just prepare for the worst. Make sure you can cover the 1.2 outside of a wetsuit when you're doing some of your open water swim sessions, and then if you turn up and it's a wetsuit, it's a bonus. That's what I tell my guys.
Yep.
And this walk around, is that on pathways? Do you advise people having runners or slip, or was it
Yeah, so
a?
there is a morning clothes bag drop. So yeah, it is on a paved path all the way around. That's actually what you're following right there is actually the road out.
Ooh,
Um, not even a path, but there is a path alongside it as well. That road out, that's the bike road out.
Okay, cool. All right. And the entry into the water, is it from a beach, a
Yeah,
pontoon?
it's like a sandy beach,
Okay.
so
Excellent.
no pontoon needed or anything like that. Same exit is at a sandy beach, and then it's up a little bit of a hill to get out.
Lovely. No, it looks unusual, but I said but I think it's different and it gives it an element of cool to it
Every
because
link,
otherwise, it's the standard U
I'm
shape all the
like
time.
I'm like every inch of the lake. That's the way I describe it. We do a big S because we've got to get every inch of that lake to get that 1.2 miles in.
And it's also a super race. You've got almost got the Superman logo in the middle of it.
Yeah,
There you go.
basically. Yeah.
Ah, cool. You can use me for marketing. Okay, all right. Anything else we need to know about this swim from a spectator, sorry, an athlete point of view?
No, just practice your sighting and practice your turns.
Lovely. And again, our standard cutoff time for when you enter in the water over the mat. And I'll show a shot of how that will be the rolling swim start. You've got 1 hour and 10 minutes to go. All right. So Corey did mention the rolling swim start. Again, for those new at Ironman and 70.3 races, this is how Ironman control the flow into the water, get the faster swimmers in first, make sure that everyone's sort of bunched together in relatively kind of similar abilities. So you'll have your under 25 minutes, under 30 minutes, under 35, 40, etc. And you put yourself an estimated swim time. And then, as Corey said, there'll be five people go in in at once. You'll be standing here. The volunteers will hold you back. There'll be a little beep. You all enter the water at the same time. So here are guys entered in. This is really key to having a good day. Seed yourself honestly. Do not think I'm going to say I'm tight for cut off. I'm going to put myself up with underneath the 30-minute swimmers, even though I'm kind of an hour swimmer. You get swam over. You won't have a chance to swim alongside someone of your own ability. Seed yourself honestly. It is really key to setting yourself for a good day. Anything you want to add there about the seeded swim start, Corey?
Yeah, I listen, I just would say I know people try to do exactly what you said. You know, they're scared about making the swim cut off. Um, the reality is if you exceed the 110 at the end of the day, you will be a DNF at the end of the day. So it really doesn't matter, seeding yourself early will not make you an official finisher, if you go over that 110 cutoff. So um I would tell yourself to be honest, seed yourself, and you'll have an enjoyable swim. Put yourself, if you're not that fast swimmer, put yourself up the front, and you're not going to have a great day.
Yeah, no, cool. It's a classic mistake made by newbies, but again, this it's a very clever system. It's been designed, it's been tried, tested, and it does help. And if you seed yourself correctly, you end up being around swimmers the roughly the same level, and then you get that draft as opposed to if you're trying to keep up with someone who's swimming like 130 per 100 and you're a 3 minute per 100 swimmer, you're not going to get any benefit from it. Okay,
You're
cool.
going to get trampled.
Yeah, exactly. You not know, I know, and the stronger ones will go over you. Righty ho. So we will talk a little bit about transition. It's a single transition and it's a traditional transition versus a clean transition.
Yes, it is. We also in the triathlon world refer to it as a dirty transition. So, which means there's not bags hanging. You're not going into a change tent. You are setting up your transition in the morning, laying out your bike shoes, helmet, runners, etc. You're laying all of that out next to your bike in transition, coming in out of the swim, running in, getting to your transition, making sure you clip that helmet first before you start touching your bike. It's a USA triathlon rule. If you pick up your bike and start to run out with your helmet unclipped, technically you will be disqualified.
Yeah. And again, the just for people who are wondering what we're talking about, a dirty traditional versus a clean transition. Some Ironman races, mainly the full distance, and some 70.3s in North America uses a bag system where you have a red bag and a blue bag. So people start talking to you about that. Don't worry, this is not the point in Des Moines. You just have like it's almost like your classic like Olympic or sprint distance where you have everything by your bike. It does mean you need to get organized and make sure that you put things in order you're going to put them on. I have some videos in the comments below that will actually kind of help you through that. Um, Another bit about the getting a good, efficient kind of T1 from your swim to bike transition is making sure you know your ins and outs. So when you're racking your bike the day before, make sure that you kind of look at the swim exit. So this is where I'll be coming out, and this is where I need to run. This is I'm on the third rack up. I'm opposite that tree. I'm opposite that portaloo, whatever it is, some big inanimate objects, because when you come out of the water, you'll be thinking, brilliant, I've done that swim a little bit, was it? But you're a little bit kind of race brain and you go, but all the bikes look the same. So remember, you'll have walked it beforehand. I come up, I run up that little hill, I take a right, I'm the third rack down, I'm two racks down, there's my bike, run to the bike out exit. Where's the mount line, as in where you have to get your bike fully over that line before you get on it, or else you pick up another time penalty. Um, and then out you go. And again, when you're doing the kind of the back as well, just also imagine as if you're coming back in where that will be the dismount line. How do I bring my bike in? How do I rack it? Where's my run out exit? So there's some key things just to make sure that you walk through the day before. Any other tips that would be useful specifically from a Des Moines transition point of view, Cordy?
No, I mean it's really simple. It's not a difficult transition as well. Not a difficult transition. It is set up on grass. If that makes any difference to you, like laying out a towel to brush your feet off before you put them in the bike shoes, it's a good idea. And the sprinklers should be turned off.
Well, that's good. We don't want to get in the way of that all that sunshine you guys are promising on race day as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, actually, but mind you, if it's warm, people would enjoy the cooling down. You can't
Yeah.
keep them happy all the time, Corey. All
No.
right. Um, yeah. So again, and if you, as I said, there's a couple of things, or little short videos about like how to get how to mount your bike after the mount line, as in how to kind of get out of your wetsuit quickly and all the rest. So there's some videos there in the comments below that will help you. Um, oh, no wetsuit strippers.
No wetsuit strippers.
Cool.
Or we call them peelers now, Steve. We
I'm
don't
old
we don't
school. I can't do this politically correct stuff,
yeah,
Corey.
we don't
I
we
was
don't
born in
use
the
the word
70s.
stripper anymore.
Ah, damn it. Okay, but again, a key skill you'll need to be ready for Des Moines is actually having the ability to get your wetsuit off. And again, I get my guys when they're doing their open water swim practice, have a little bit of competition. Whoever gets their wetsuit off first after the swim set actually doesn't have to buy the coffee and cake afterwards. It's amazing how quick they get. Okay, we will move on now. Well, just before we go on to the bike, I hope you're enjoying the video. Hope you're, and again, a big thanks to Corey for giving up his time to give us all this information. Please do give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you want to see other race reviews. I do, was it 72.3 Jones's Beach with Corey as well. It's another great race in the States if you're interested. And there is the information if you're still looking to get them. Are they still open for entry, or are you guys sold out yet? Or
Yeah, Des Moines is still open.
fantastic. After watching this video, you we want to get your ass on that button if you're ready for a great 703. There's also Corey's website as well, and he does said he kind of undersells himself. He says he does it. He does an awful lot of really cool races. Make sure you check him out on social media. He's got races going on, and they've got the same real buzz about them. I love watching on social media, and I'm gonna definitely come up over and cameo at one of these races. I expect a big fanfare and a big red carpet for me, Corey. Can we arrange that?
Oh, absolutely. Roll it out.
Okay, all right. We digress. Bike course. Let's talk to me about the bike course, Corey. It's a one lap. Um,
One lap. One lap. I think that's a big deal, one lap.
yeah.
Um, I think I I mean I have a 2 lap bike course in New York, so to have a one lap out here is really nice. Um, the first thing I can tell you about the bike course is the roads are beautiful. Um, they are really, really nice. We start exit transition on the park road going out, and we cross over into what is called Waterworks Park. We flow one way through Waterworks Park. Really, really pretty park, nice and flat at this section. We exit Waterworks Park, and then we head out into what they class as West Des Moines. Um, there is rolling hills. Let's call it rollers. I wouldn't say it's particularly hilly, but there's rollers out there. Um, It's not a Lake Placid course, but beautiful, beautiful smooth roads. Some of the best concrete roads that I have been on. Three aid stations out on the course. There are also four U-turns on this course. So be prepared to make sure you keep that pedal leg up as you make that U-turn, that you don't have that pointing down. Um, there is one U-turn that I'm particularly fancy of. If you go back to that one you were just highlighting, that's my favorite U-turn because that's on Army Post Road. Got nothing to do with the name of the road, but everything to do with the fact that we U-turn here, Steve, the correct way.
Oh,
Um, those that live uh, overseas drive on the correct side of the road versus us driving on the wrong side of the road here in the US. That very little portion there on Army Post Road, we are going to cross over and ride on the correct side of the road for us people that know what the correct side of the road is. So we make a right-hand U-turn there versus a left-hand U-turn. So might be a little tricky for some people that are not used to lifting that leg up as they make that right-hand U-turn. So just pay attention there. Um, but yeah, the bike, I really don't have much more to say about the bike course except that it's fantastic. It really, really is fantastic. Um,
it does look exciting. Again, it's very different to our standard, out back to a couple of loops and all the rest. As
correct.
in there's some interesting turns here, and as I said, it'll keep you tuned in, I reckon.
Yeah,
In
you're
terms
riding
of
through some of like really beautiful neighborhoods. Um, you're also riding through, this is Iowa, this is corn country. You're riding through a lot of corn as well. Corn was just planted a few weeks ago, so it's just starting to push in some of the areas. Um, it'll be up a good foot when you go past. It's really pretty country.
Nice. And a classic question we always get asked is this: if you have the option of a road bike versus a TT bike, what would you lean towards if you have the option?
I would take my TT bike on this.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, yeah, I wouldn't like start to play with that road bike if I had that option until I get something crazy hilly,
No,
and
agreed.
even then, like let's talk crazy hilly. Nice, Lake Placid, everyone still loves to ride their tri bike.
Yeah, I know absolutely. The minute you said there were smooth roads, that actually just leans to like, you spent your money on a TT bike, you've done your training on a TT bike. A TT bike's always going to be faster, as you said, unless it's epically hilly like Lanzarote or Nice or Lake Placid. So no, absolutely. Excellent.
And
And
they
we've
still
got
ride their tri bikes.
yeah. So
Right?
we've got three aid stations, you said. We've got here,
Roughly 15 miles, 15, 30, and 45, roughly.
fantastic, cool. All right, lovely. And in terms of, and as you said, yeah, this again, it doesn't look too bad when you look at the actual sort of the elevation profile. Some decent little nice descents there as well, so it all balances out.
Decent rollers.
Decent routers, cool, excellent. Alrighty. So in terms of getting the job done on the bike course, the swim, T1 and bike, you've got 5 hours 30. Um, we'll move on a little bit, and it's key here as well. Again, this is a part, especially for newbies who haven't done it before. One of the keys about getting a really good 70.3 day race experience is actually knowing how to use an aid station and being aware of their kind of high risk and high reward. What do I mean by high risk? First off, what you really need to know here is there's at the start of the aid station. Now, this looks like it's compressed and it's all like 5 meters. It's not. It's around 300, 400 meters. The start of the aid station, that's the that will end, and there'll be a marker there. And the end of station, that's the only place you can ditch your gel wrappers, your banana peels, your empty bottles, whatever you want to get rid of. Anywhere else, and you will get actually disqualified because you probably get spotted by marshal. And we're a guest of Des Moines, we're a guest in Iowa. We do not litter the country. If we keep to this rule, which is a really clever rule from Ironman, all the rubbish will be in here, and therefore it's very easy for them to tidy up and as if we were never here. So that's the first thing you gotta go. So it's
I'd love to stress that point, Steve. Like, this is a community. There's a farming community where a couple of the aid stations are, and we do not need your gel wrappers flying into the fields, etc. If there's some wind, like, so please, like really respect this. Make sure you're discarding your trash in that portion of the aid station. It's really important to us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's key. And I harp on again, I said, because the two things will happen if you don't. One, you'll get disqualified. Two, you'll be known as a dick in the race. As in triathletes, we know the rules, even if you're new and all the rest, and you don't want to carry it. Stick a gel wrapper in the back of your tri suit or in your pocket and all the rest. Get to the aid station, then bin it. Then it allows everyone to tie you up. Just again, that's what my little rant, and I'm very, very big on it. The other thing you'll need to know is that, as I said, there's the option that there possibly we drop bottles, there possibly litter, etc. The people moving in and out of aid stations. So it is high risk, but if you handle it well, it's high reward. And what do I mean by that? Because you can't carry all your water, you can't carry all your fuel with you because it doesn't make sense. You don't want to slow yourself down that nice fast bike. So remember, you'll be able to pick up water, mortal hydration, food, typically bananas, mortal gels, mortal hydration again, and therefore it repeats itself. So if you miss that, don't panic. So key things here: when you're coming into the aid station, communicate to your fellow riders. I'm going into the aid station. I'm going to don't suddenly veer across. Then communicate with the volunteer. Make eye contact. Say water, water, and slow down. You do not. If you go too fast, you'll just knock the bottle out of the hand, and you won't get what you need. You'll probably hurt the volunteer. Slow down, pick it up, secure, and head out. And then talk again coming out, and again, constantly watching. It's just key. Do it slowly, do it controlled, communicate at all points. You'll pick up the fuel, you'll pick up the hydration you need, and you'll continue on and have a good day. In terms of the aid stations, Corey, do you know what flavor you're going to be in Mortal Hydration yet, or is that tied down?
I do not know what flavor we have in Mortal as yet.
Yeah, typically berry. I've seen a margarita on the run course, but again, to be confirmed. But any other tips you'd like to give on the aid stations or any other info?
Um, if this is your first time using an aid station, try and get someone to practice this with. Like riding through an aid station at 15 miles an hour, trying to grab onto water and other bottles and stuff like that. Like this is like you said, Steve, this has some high risk to it. And if you're just not comfortable with it, slow down and pull over early on the side of the road and even walk your bike through it. That you're not going to get disqualified for that. And you won't spoil your day, if you're not confident in being able to take that water bottle, riding your bike one-handed, getting a water bottle and getting it back in the cage, then yeah, pull over. Don't destroy your day and possibly someone else's.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's time to box clever at these things. So again, if you're a little bit sort of worried about what we said, there's another video on below how to use an aid station. It shows do's, don'ts, there's demos by pros, there's sort of again, and it shows how the layout works. It's a really good refresher. Make sure, and again, it does come down at the end of the day, as Corey said. I get my new guys to go look at the end of one of your long bike rides. Make sure your partner, your kid, your friend is out holding the bottle, and you try and grab that bottle when you're tired and then secure it and cycle off. Guarantee the first couple of times you'll knock it off, you'll have a laugh about it. But the third, fourth, you'll go, actually, I need to be at this speed. I need to grasp at that point. And then, on race day, you'll be able to do it when it really matters. So again, do practice.
I,
All
I
right.
think I think there's so many videos, Steve, of pros that you can find that show a pro flying through the bike course at the bike aid station and just literally like drop, 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 drop at how many tables and then praying he gets just at least one bottle at that last table, like it could be a really bad day if you lose and you don't get any hydration.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, that's it. It's better practice than being in control. Alrighty, so we have done that belter of a bike course, and we've come through the cornfields of Iowa, and we're back to our single transition. Um, is there anything in terms of there's no bike catchers? Again, it's rack your
No
own
bike
DIY.
catches. Yeah. No
Okay.
bike catches. Rack yourself.
And
Um,
anything unusual about the T2, as in when we're transitioning from bike to run, that you want to
Not
share with the gang?
really. I would just encourage you to slow down a little bit as you come in. There is one little turn you need to make to get onto essentially the bike path for the last couple of 100 meters. Um, just pay attention as you come into that bike path portion. Um, the bike in is essentially where swim in was, and run out is essentially where bike out was. So opposite corners of the transition area.
Fantastic. And again, this time as well, remember that that dismount line is, was it a tip for myself as I get the guys to stand up a little, stretch out their hamstrings, getting ready for that run, but be 100% aware, and there will be volunteers shouting the dismount line. You have to stop your bike entirely and dismount it before you actually can head into transition, or else you'll pick up a silly little penalty. So it sounds like a very simple, easy transition. And as I said to my guys, just slow controlled. You will have walked from the that other side as part of your recce the day before. Where is my okay? So this time I'm coming from this angle. I'm going up this rack, and that's where my numbered bike rack is. Drop it there. Sorry, put rack your bike. Then take your helmet off, get your runners on, and start moving. And what we say in our squad is get in, get out, because nothing good happens in T2. As I said, don't sit down, don't stretch, don't sort of get your the minute you have your runners on, start even walking. Put your helmet, your cap on, or take a gel. Don't stop. Just keep moving because every step forward is a step closer to the finish. And
Do not bring a chair.
pardon,
Do not bring a chair.
no chairs or buckets.
No, no chairs, no buckets, no balloons tied at the end of the bike rack. Yeah,
So
just
yeah,
just just obey the rules, please.
that's it. Get in, get out. And again, there's another thing one of my friends said, the only thing that you'll find in T2 is other people's problems. So keep moving, get out. And don't cause problems for by Corey for trying to bring chairs and buckets. You just keep everything on a nice little towel or something, but again, nice and compact because you're with other people. Couple more tips here about transitioning from the bike to the run, how you can get your runners on quick, how you can get was it said get your legs up before coming off the bike, and then we're out onto the run course. So talk to us on this one, Corey. What can people expect in the run course?
So it's basically two loops. When we come out of transition, we bang a right hand turn and we head to the west. It's called the Meredith Trail. It's a paved trail. You run down, you make a U-turn, you come back, you pass transition area. Um, you go out and you're going to run across, I think it's called the Jackson Street Bridge off the top of my head. And you make a loop of Principal Park. Principal Park is the minor league baseball stadium.
Oh, cool.
Um, and you come back and you run back towards transition area. You get to transition, you pass it, and you go do that loop again. So it's two loops on that Meredith Trail and around Principal Park. And then once you get back the second time, that's when you're going to make a right-hand turn and head back through Grays Lake Park, across the Raccoon River, and then make your way into downtown Des Moines. It's about a mile and a half, I guess, after transition to that finish line. Um, but really, really cool coming into the city of Des Moines. The finish line is on Court Avenue. I would tell you that when you are visiting Des Moines, our expo is just a little north of Court Avenue where the finish line is. It's in a place called Cal's Common, um, just off of Locust Street, and you'll be coming in there either Friday or Saturday. I would highly encourage you to come on Saturday, get your stuff, and walk down to Court Avenue in the morning. There is an amazing farmers market on Court Avenue that you should definitely visit on Saturday. That ends around about 1 o'clock. When that ends, we get to take Court Avenue for us and we start our finish line setup.
Fantastic, lovely, cool. Eight and the surface. You're mainly on road or tarmac, as in is,
Oh,
or is there
yeah,
anything?
bitumen.
Ooh,
I don't know. We call it bitumen in Australia, blacktop.
I thought you were calling me a name.
No,
Corey, we're
no.
friends.
I had this the other day. Somebody called it tarmac, and I was like, tarmac is only like on a runway. So yeah, bitumen or blacktop here in the US, and a bunch of paved concrete as well.
Fantastic, cool. And it looks flat as a pancake as well, which is great.
Pretty
Aid
much, yes.
stations.
Aid stations. These are two-sided aid stations. Um, you hit you hit on the way out and back. I believe there's a total of 12 hits for aid stations across the course.
Yeah, you can see them there marked on the map. Cool. Alrighty. And at that stage, when you don't need an aid station when you're heading for home, that's it. When you're just putting the ears back and heading
So I
home for
did,
that finish
just so
line.
you know, I don't see it there on the map, but I did add an aid station just as you pass mile 12. So just as you cross Raccoon River, adding an aid station there. That way you don't go like a mile and a half without any fluids.
That's it. Okay, cool. Excellent. And again, the same rules apply for the aid stations on the run as they do the bike guys. The start of it, the end of it, that's where you can chuck your litter, rubbish, trash, whatever language you're speaking. But again, obey that. The layout will be the same in terms of there will be water, was it mortal hydration? There'll be a bit more variety in terms of the food. There's bananas, energy bars, etc., Morton gels. And there's always the lovely addition of Coca-Cola or cola, whatever you're doing for that brand, for that little, was it sugary goodness? There you do have that
Yeah.
in there.
Once you start taking Coke, but you're going to need it the rest of the race. So if you take it at aid station one, it's going to burn off real quick. You'll feel really good for a bit, but it's going to burn off really quick. Once you start the Coke, that's it. You're going to need it every aid station.
Nice. So bear that in mind. I tell my guys you really want to start topping that up after like 10, 11, 12 kilometers or 6 miles into it. Because again, there's only so much coke you can have in your system for the day. Anything else we need to know about the run course? It looks very
No,
a
it's
nice
it's
course.
it's really simple and it is really nice along the trail. Um, I was just so impressed in my trip to Des Moines, like the trail system throughout the city and throughout the West Des Moines and that there is just an amazing trail system in this town. Really, really impressive.
Fabulous. Okay, cool. And in terms of getting the job done overall, swim T1, bike T2, and run 8 hours 30. Pace it right, fuel right. You should have a very good day. Anything else on the course before we talk a little bit about the race day logistics?
Uh, Not really. I always do like to remind people, I see it all the time, that when somebody crosses that finish line, they look down at their watch to stop their watch. That guy's a great example. He's got his hands up in the air and he's celebrating. Um, I can't stress this enough. Like, do not spoil your finish line photo by stopping your Garmin or whatever watch you're wearing. Um, your time is going to get recorded, guys. Celebrate this moment and enjoy it.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's too many photographs of the whole yeah, and like you've worked too hard for this, you've trained too hard for this. You've actually kind of had a really good race day. Make sure that's the picture that's going to go on your wallpaper in your computer. That's the one that's going to replace your wedding photograph, your kids' birthdays, communions and stuff. So make sure it's a good one because
Yes.
a wife or the husband's going to be really annoyed with you. And it looks like an epic finish line as well. That looks cool. Look, there's
It is
the
really
citadel.
cool. The courthouse is beautiful too. You should definitely take a look inside that. Don't get yourself wind up in court, but you should definitely take a stroll through the courthouse. It's a beautiful building.
Yeah,
It's a
be a
beautiful city.
spectator rather than a participant. I think
Yeah.
that, I
Yes.
think in general that's good advice. But it's a great backdrop to the finish line photograph. And as I said, you want that with the arms arrayed high, etc. Cool. Alrighty. Race day venue. Registration opens on Friday. You can also register on Saturday, according to the timetable.
That's
And
correct.
athlete
I,
briefings.
I would say because I just don't know this off by heart, Steve. I'm trusting that you pulled this from our athlete guide. Um,
Yes.
But I would also just tell everybody to make sure we are referring to our athlete guide at this point, just in case we did get something here by mistake.
No, absolutely. And it's one of the top things I always recommend. It's absolutely brilliant to listen to a race director. It's absolutely brilliant to listen to my beautiful Irish accent. But I always recommend you go to the read the athlete guide. They're very comprehensive. And also go to an athlete briefing because things can change in the last few days. And that's Ironman's way of communicating to you. You put too much in this race not to do the further research. Watching this video is clever. Reading the briefing is key, and attending a briefing as well. So this is the timetable I did pull from the athlete briefing. The other key thing to note as well, you have to drop off your bike um the day before the race, and that's between 10 and 5, and that's where you pick up your timing chip. So don't panic when you register, and you'll get your race number, you get your bag, and you'll get your stickers for the bike, and you're looking around for a timing chip. You always pick up the timing chip on at the day you type in. It's a way our man's way of making sure that you're serious and you just didn't turn up to pick up the bag. Um, Race morning transition opens at 5. Age group
Yeah,
rolling
early
start.
start, 6:30 a.m.
Any hints or tips for people getting in addition to the logistics? I know you have to get to the swim
So,
start and you have to walk around. Is there anything that they need to bear in mind or
so
bake into the timing?
parking is just over the other side of the Meredith Trail. It's a little walk from parking. Stay on the paths. There's a really good tip. Don't cut across the grass and through the bushes. The bushes are full of poison ivy, so you'll really enjoy that about 3 days later if you walk through the bushes. So please stay on the paths. Um, they will have lights on them, easy to follow. In the morning, get what you've got to get done in transition, get it done and leave. Go to the swim start. Um, I get this complaint all the time, Steve, that the porta potties in transition are locked in the morning and people can't get into those porta potties in transition. Um, and it doesn't matter how many times I lecture it. I don't know, people don't seem to listen. There's a couple of reasons that we lock those porta potties, and I know athletes try and break them open. But the reason why we lock those porta potties, guys, is real simple. One, we want to keep those porta potties clean for when you're coming through during the race. There's not a lot of them in transition, so lines can become also really long if in the morning everyone's trying to use them. Additionally, we don't want you to stay in transition in the morning. We want you to get your stuff done and leave. There are a lot more porta potties at swim start versus in transition. Okay. Get to swim start, do your business, keep the porta potties clean, and then enjoy your race. So don't come back to me complaining on race morning that the porta potties were locked in the morning in transition. We are trying our hardest to make you leave transition and get to the swim start on time.
Which is key again, as in like, and you do need to
So
bear that in
simple.
mind, as in there's nothing more colorful in terms of language and was it speed than an athlete who's late to try to get to the swim start. So again, just plan it. And also, I always try to work my routine, my morning routine, right? Say that I'll have my coffee at a certain time. That I know I'm using the toilet in the hotel, or whatever. Just I know you do put the porta potties on. I try to avoid them at all costs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's even a more pro tip right there.
Absolutely.
Use the nice toilets, you
Yeah.
know. Um, yeah, I would also stress to you, like, if you are running a little behind, um, I'm sorry that that's going to be on you, right? And you get to the porta potty lines and they are long, and now you start to panic because you hear the horn go off and the race starting. Guys, don't panic. It doesn't matter. It's going to take us about an hour to get everybody in the water, right? So you might not get your exact spot that you wanted to be with your swim time, and you might be ended up in the slower group. It'll be fun. You'll pass a lot of people, right? But you got to own that. If you're late, that's on you, right? Um, but if you are late, don't stress about this. Don't stress about it. Go to the porta potty. You hear that horn go. We've got an hour basically of rolling people into the water. So
No,
plenty of
absolutely.
time.
And
Don't
again, it's
stress.
all about minimizing lost energy in the morning. And again, and by the way, the way you do that straight off is having a very regimented table. I need to have left the hotel at this time. It's going to take me X amount of time to get here. I'm going to try, I need 20 minutes to do this, and work backwards. So you have a very set and give yourself contingency because things will go wrong, etc. So and then you're cool as a cucumber the entire time, and the only time you're using energy is when you was it smashing that swim course, the bike, and the run, and that's the way you want to do it. Cool. Anything else we want to say share with the folks who are hopefully timing who are planning to join you in Des Moines?
I said it in New York. If you were in New York last year, I don't want you to come if you're miserable. Iron Man might not like it that I say that, but I will tell you, if you're miserable, if you got a negative attitude, stay in the hotel. Don't come. You know, come down here. This is going to be a brilliant day. Happy people make happy things happen, and you will have a great day if you remain positive. If you get all out of sorts and get negative and whatnot, that's just going to continue throughout the day, and you're not going to have fun. So come happy, have a great day, and be sure to say thank you to our volunteers that are out there. Thank you to the police are out there. I like to remind people that you have the power of one. Just you and you alone have the power of one. If you say thank you every single time you pass somebody and everybody does that, that person's going to get, 1,500 thank yous, maybe more, because maybe you pass them twice. And you're not only going to make your day great, you're going to make their day great. So um, be courteous when you're out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big important day for you, but a lot of people have put a lot of work into actually making it happen. So do pay that back, and it does. It ends up coming karmatically back to you, as in like if you're support it was it polite to volunteers and you're so appreciative, they will shout louder for you next time they see you, and you'll get that bit of energy. That's not a reason to do it. It's just good manners. But do feedback that positive energy, and you will find it in Ironman courses. It is predominantly a lot of you're part of a kind of a can-do group of individual community. So make sure you feed into that, and you kind of that will actually give you the wings on race day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my mom always said that it takes less muscles and less energy and the effort to smile than it does to frown, So save the energy, smile, and use that excess energy to propel yourself forward.
absolutely. Brilliant advice. And again, Corey, thank you so much on behalf of myself and all the viewers. Brilliant talking to you. So much information that looks like you're going to have an absolutely brilliant race day overall. And I know the type of effort and the attention to detail you put in. So it will be a great race day. And I wish you all the best. And I hope that I'll hear more wonderful feedback on it. And again, thank you for your time. It's very much appreciated.
No worries, Steve. Cheers.
And we'll leave it there.
Cheers, mate.